مرحبا بكم معنا في قناتكم قناة English Online Class. كما كل مرة نقترح عليكم دروس تخص تلاميذ الطور الابتدائي المتوسط والثانوي حسب المنهاج الدراسي. اليوم جيتكم فيديو جديد متعلق بتلاميذ السنة الرابعة متوسط 4th year middle school. كنا تناولنا درسين من المقطع الثاني me, my personality and my experiences. So today we're going to tackle lesson 3, similarities and differences. So we're going to talk about how to express similarities and how to express differences. So lesson objectives. First, to express similarities between people using like. And second, to express differences between people using unlike and whereas. So when we say similarities يعني الأمور اللي تشترك ولا مشتركة بين الناس. Differences هما الاختلافات بين الناس. So expressing similarities and differences. Let's start. So when we say similarities, it means having same thing, having equalities. For example, like my friend Sarah, my dream career is to become a flight attendant. Like my friend Sarah, my dream career is to become a flight attendant. هنا كما راكم تلاحظوا عندي حلم مشترك مع صديقتي سارة. So we can say also I want to become a flight attendant like my friend Sarah. So me and Sarah, we share the same dream career, which is to become a flight attendant. عندنا حلم مشترك وهو نكونوا نصيروا مع بعض في المستقبل a flight attendant. So when we use the word like, it means in the same way. يعني باللغة العربية مثل. So going on the same way. So we use like هذه الكلمة اللي استعملناها باش نعبروا على similarities can be used at the beginning of the sentence or in the middle of the sentence. نقدر نستعملها في بداية الجملة أو في وسط الجملة. Now we move to differences. When we say differences, we mean اختلافات. So we are not the same, we are different. Example, unlike Sammy who is timid, his brother is sociable. So unlike Sammy who is timid, his brother is sociable. So the personality of Sammy is different from the personality of his brother. Another example, most teenage boys prefer to play video games, whereas Steve is not fond of video games. So all teenagers like and prefer video games, but Steve doesn't like video games. So we used here unlike to express the difference. It means in contrast to, يعني عكس. So whereas means in contrast to. نقدر نعتبروا unlike and whereas as being synonyms. And we have like is the opposite of unlike. عكس like, unlike. So when we use unlike, we can put it at the beginning of the sentence في بداية الجملة or in the middle of the sentence. نكتبها مباشرة وما نحطش وراءها فاصلة. We use whereas only in the middle of a sentence. كلمة whereas نستعملها فقط في وسط الجملة متبوعة بفاصلة. ما نقدرش نحطها في بداية الجملة. Now we will tackle task 15 on 78. So page 78. I choose the correct word in brackets. عندنا هنا جمل نحاول في كل جملة نختار الكلمة الصحيحة whereas and like or like. So you have to pay attention first to the meaning of the sentence. نفهم معنى الجملة عفوا. Whether we express a similarity or a difference. إذا كان رانا نتكلموا على similarities or differences. من بعد نختار الكلمة الصحيحة ونحطها في المكان المناسب. نخلي لكم بعض الدقائق ونروح مع بعض إلى الحل. Okay, so unlike the 350 passengers who died in the crash, Brenda Shaw Lynn has miraculously survived. هنا it is unlike. First we put it at the beginning of the sentence, and there is something different between Brenda and the other passengers. So it is a difference, not a similarity. Jim Hartley was the pilot of the Airbus A380, whereas Andrew Boyle was the co-pilot. So we put here whereas in the middle of the sentence. Why? Because Jim Harry is different from Andrew Boyle. They occupy two different jobs. One is a pilot and the other is a co-pilot. 3. All the passengers were adults, unlike Brenda, who was the only child on board. هنا there is a difference between Brenda and the other passengers. They are all adults, and she was a young or a child. So the most suitable one is unlike. Brenda's mother also died in the crash, like her father. So both her mother and her father died on the crash. So it is a similarity. This is why we choose like. We still have an example. All the passengers relaxed, whereas the flight attendants were busy serving dinner. So there is a difference here between the state of passengers and the state of flight attendants. This is why we have chosen whereas. So it is a difference, not a similarity. I have selected an extra task. اخترت لكم تمرين آخر خارج الكتاب المدرسي. Okay, so express contrast and similarities with like and whereas. نقدر نقولوا express differences or contrast يعني العكس. She really enjoys reading novels. Her brother prefers watching movies instead. So how we are going to express a difference? Here there is a difference between she and her brother. So we're going to say she really enjoys reading novels, whereas her brother prefers watching movies instead. Second example, she is a very pretty girl. She is quite her mother. So they are the same, they share the same qualities. So we say, like her mother, she is a very pretty and a quiet girl. We move to example number 3. Lions and tigers are among the most ferocious animals. So we have lions and tigers are among the most ferocious animals. So like lions and tigers are among the most ferocious animals. So we are comparing lions to tigers and they share a similarity. This is why we have chosen like. Number 4, Mr. Steve works for a private school. His wife works for a public school. So here they are opposite. So we use we say, Mr. Steve works for a private school, whereas his wife works for a public school. So since there is a difference between the two persons, we have selected whereas. Another example, last year I came in first place. This year I came in 10th place. I'm very disappointed. So there is a difference between last year and this year. So I'm going to say, I'm very disappointed. Unlike last year, I came in 10th place. Or we can say also, we can use whereas. Last year I came in the first place, whereas this year I came in the 10th place. Number 6, Sam wants to become a Marine. His father served in the Marine for 15 years. So he shares the same thing with his father. So Sam wants to become a Marine like his father. So this was the last example for today's lesson. هذا كان آخر مثال لدرس نهار اليوم. نتلاقاو إن شاء الله مع فيديو آخر ودرس جديد. اللي عندكم أي سؤال خلوه لي في التعليق. ما تنساوش تواصلوا معنا عبر حساباتنا الانستغرام، التيك توك والفيسبوك، واشتركوا في القناة وبارتاجيوا لنا الرابط، هكذا يستفاد الجميع. تهلاو في روحكم. نتلاقاو إن شاء الله مع درس جديد. سلام. مرحبا.